What services do the best online reputation management companies offer? Today I'm joined with Scott Keever, the founder of Reputation Pros, and Tim Schmidt, an SEO OG. So let's jump straight in. And Scott, let's jump just with the first service that comes to your head. What service is a popular service that you run as an ORM kind of agency that someone's coming to you online and they want some help? Can you name us a service that you offer?
Yeah, I would say the most popular service is the suppression of negative content online. Someone currently has some sort of negative piece of content shown for their name or their brand. It's hurting them financially or professionally, and that they reach out to us to suppress that negative content. I would say that's the number one.
Yeah, for sure. And Tim, can you expand on any other services that, obviously, as an ORM agency, of what you offer?
Sure. So beyond suppression, we also do positive engagement, positive activity. So what does that look like? Basically, it's people that do not have a footprint online for their name, their brand, whatever it may be, and they want to reframe how they look. Maybe they're looking for a new job. Sometimes we get people that are launching a record label or changing careers, and they want to be known and have some notoriety behind that before they kind of enter the public world and have a little momentum and steam behind them that will visibly show in Google, which is social proof.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, I want you to expand on that a little bit, because what I want to do is I want to talk to you about reactive online reputation management versus proactive. So like being branding, like you're talking about there, improving your online branding and stuff like that. I was surprised at first when I spoke to Scott how much work you actually did on stuff like proactive online branding. How important do you think online branding is and corporate branding is now in the AI era?
Oh, it's huge, because one thing to remember is AI engines are only going to show you certain things, and that largely comes from what they see on page one of Google. And if you don't have anything positive, they can't cite that. It also comes from Reddit and trustable sources, sometimes Facebook, Quora, other engines like that. But if you don't have that corporate brand or that identity or that personal brand, the AI isn't going to have anything to say about you, and you're going to look like a nobody. So being positive and framing your engagement and possibly going out and just sending, signals to the masses before there's an issue is a big thing, because you want to control that narrative.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to different services there, Scott, you mentioned about negative suppression. Do you do at Reputation Pros both web page suppression as well as image suppression in trying to sink any negative sentiment or bad images or pictures that might be online? Do you do both of those services as an online reputation management company?
Yeah, we offer both services. In a lot of cases, clients come to us needing both, right? They have the negative content that's showing in the organic search results, but there's a negative image tied to that, whether it be a mugshot or just an unflattering image, an image that doesn't portray them in the best manner. So they'll reach out to us and say they need both the image and the article suppressed.
Yeah, for sure. And Tim, opposite ends of the spectrum now. So you spoke there about proactive kind of personal branding, corporate branding, being proactive in your approach and having a good positive sentiment kind of brand SERP. Now, let's say someone does something bad. So they get arrested, they get into a fight, or they get in a divorce, and their first page of Google for their name looks terrible. And now they're seeing it as being a crisis management system. Are you able to offer as a service crisis management services to try to sync those? And how does Reputation Pros do that?
Sure, we certainly do. And a lot of people do come to us from situations like you just mentioned. And, not everybody's perfect. I wish we all were, but we aren't. So one mistake shouldn't define the way people are or hurt their reputation forever. So if someone comes in and, like you said, they got in a fight, they did something when they were out drunk and they made a big scene, but generally they're a good person, we're going to know about that because they're going to fill out an onboarding form. That's one of the first things they do when they join Reputation Pros. That onboarding form asks them things like, what are your accolades? What do you want to be known for? Any career achievements? Do you work with any charities? Have you won any awards, etc.? And we get to know them, learn about their career, their successes, and that's the framework we'll use for crisis management.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And then, Scott, right, Reputation Pros, people are coming along. We've done another video. Make sure you check out the video in the description where we talk about what makes the best online reputation management company. And on this one, we're talking about the different services. Let's say someone's got a great brand. They've done all positive personal branding and corporate branding. But then for some reason, an old member of staff or someone starts talking badly about them on Reddit. And there's a forum now going about, which is a negative forum, and we all know now how well Reddit forums can rank within Google search and also get picked up within artificial intelligence, the different LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini and Copilot. How is there anything you can do within Reputation Pros for Reddit management?
Yeah, absolutely. First, we'd look to see if it's spilling over into Google, because typically Reddit ranks very well on Google as well. So a lot of times we'll have to suppress Reddit as a whole in Google. But then also we actually recently brought in another SEO OG. His name's Corey. He's been down the Reddit rabbit hole for the last like 10, 15 years. He's really had just a crazy understanding of socials and, the last several years, like a primary focus on Reddit. And he has some really fascinating ways to really clean up your reputation on Reddit without going into any of our secret sauce.
Yeah, Corey's an absolute legend. He knows a lot. He's very advanced. I think you've got a great team player there within the team. So, Tim, we're now moving on to, let's say someone has cleaned up everything of what they need to do, but they're worried that some new articles might come along. So they might have just gone bankrupt or something might have happened quite badly, and they want to monitor their mentions online. Can you talk a little bit about your proprietary software that you have in-house for the brand monitoring and how advanced that is? Because I was also amazed within Reputation Pros at how great you are at being able to track things very quickly. So you can be the company that can go back to even your client saying, wow, this has just popped up today. We might now need to be doing something about it. So can you talk a little bit about the brand monitoring and how important that is?
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. What the tool does is it's really cool. It alerts us every time something comes up with a client or anything loosely related to them. And it was built internally. It's an engine that literally spiders the web in real time. A lot of times we bring things to our attention before the clients even know about it. And they're like, oh God, like let's get on a call and figure out how we can do this. And sometimes that leads them to spending more money because the problem is related to a different keyword or entity that they would need to work on. But it does a very good job at alerting us and making sure that we're on top of the campaign and we're kind of in crisis management mode before they even know about it. Because being transparent with clients, as everybody knows in the internet marketing industry, is paramount. We all have our good and bad times in Google's graces, but being transparent about it and getting through it and coming up with a plan is step one in solving them and keeping customers around.
Yeah, as a client, like they become obsessed, right, with searching their name or searching their brand when something's negative out there about them. And even just something drop in one position is like they see it right in real time. So for us to be able to develop a tool that we can see things before someone who's like searching their name 40 times a day or their brand, right, and we can reach out to them and say this happened, whether it's something positive where we've been able to suppress something, or something comes out and we can say, hey, we found this and we're addressing it in real time. They absolutely love that.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one, so we're here talking about all the different services that the best online reputation management companies offer. And I want to touch on the AI overviews and AI like ChatGPT as well. Now, a lot of people used to just be using Google search engine, but now they're using, even if they are using Google, Gemini overview pops up at the top. You've got people using ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity for doing searches. So there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of different nuances now that come along with online reputation management. Scott, I was recently with you in Vietnam, and something that was striking was, first and foremost, I want to thank you and say congratulations on winning the Best Online Reputation Management Expert Award out there at SEO Mastery Summit. So well done on that. But you've got a successful business in Reputation Pros. Previously, you've got obviously Keever SEO, and you've had a lot of success with affiliate marketing and stuff like that. But what was striking for me was every day is a school day with you. You're always looking to improve your team. You're always looking to stay one step ahead of the game. And that's what you've needed to do with AI. So with regards to the LLMs, how many people now are coming to you and saying, I need AI reputation management? Because what might have been sank on page 2 or page 3 of Google might still form part as consensus that still cites you in ChatGPT and in Gemini. How much harder has that made the services that you offer or other people offer? I mean, it's, in my opinion, I feel it's going to play into your advantage, because I believe, genuinely speaking, this is why I've got you on, you're the best ORM agency in the world. But how are others, like, it's so difficult to stay ahead of the curve, and you've managed to do that. So let's talk about AI and what differences, without giving the whole game away, but what you're managing to do differently. Is it that you now need to sync it to page 4 or 5 of Google instead of page 2 or 3? Is it just the need to put more budget in and the need to spend more to sync it even deeper into page 4 or 5? Like, what are you doing with artificial intelligence and the LLMs?
Yeah, I think our SEO expertise and just our constant testing, as you know, we're part of some of the same groups that we're always looking into this and seeing what's really moving the needle and what's not, is what really separates us from everyone else. And when it comes to AI, cleaning up page 1 often will give some relief there, but we really have a good understanding of, behind the scenes, like, crafting the right content with a clear, consistent message on who they are, what they do, where they do it, and getting it in the right places and enough places so that the negative sentiment that's currently there about them switches to positive. Combine that with clear page 1 results, as well as just some other things that we've been testing that seem to be working extremely well right now in AI is loving, that we are really able to control what's being seen for our clients there. I would still say Google has been the primary concern as of late. That's usually number 1 immediate concern, but then it's always followed up by, can you also help in AI? So I think it's becoming even more increasingly important and on people's radar, but it hasn't quite overcame the Google side of things, right? I haven't had anyone yet just reach out saying, I need my AI cleaned up. It's always Google first, and then also, can you help with AI as well?
Yeah, for sure. And then with regards to the services that's being offered, Tim, you touched upon before, which I quite liked, and I found it reassuring that there's some business owners out there that might have had a drunken night out and got themselves in a bit of trouble and they've got a mugshot online. What would you say to these people that might need a service from an online reputation management company, but they feel a bit ashamed to reach out? What would you be saying to those people to say, look, it happens to the best of us. Things can happen. Sometimes you can go bankrupt. Sometimes you can go through a divorce. What would you tell those people that are unsure about initially, they're watching this and they're saying, I think I need some help with my online reputation management? What would you say to those people?
I would say don't be shy. We all make mistakes. I mean, I have a lot of conversations with people, from people who got in trouble all the way to agency partnerships. And, the first few minutes of the call is understanding their situation. And a lot of times there's some bad things that happen and they're unfortunate, but we've all been through bad things. The question they have to ask themselves, and the reason I urge them to reach out, is because you only live once, number 1. And number 2, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if you're going to go out there and you're creating opportunities, it could be anything from networking, creating a partnership, going to a trade show, and someone Googles your name and they see this. That could be the one thing that deters them from doing business with you, working with you, dating you. That even comes up for us. We get people that care about their image because they're dating. And let's be honest, before we get married, we all look into our, wives. We look into the background. We want to understand what we're getting into. So people do that. So you only get one chance to make a first impression, and you never know what kind of connections or business opportunities you could lose by just having a bad reputation online.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great wrap up there, Tim. For anyone who's watching this, we're going through all the different services that the best online reputation management companies do. Do you feel we've missed anything, or do you specifically want a service with regards to online reputation management or personal branding or corporate branding, make sure you leave a link in the description, and either Scott or Tim will be able to reach out and show you different ways of being able to improve that. Scott, Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, James.